You are in the Temple of the Rants, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one is for Desotaku, who says, rant about Berserk 2016/17 and why this IP will never have a good adaptation again. This isn't even funny anymore. I would have been okay if the anime looked like this 2D art from the opening, but not this. Well, I think the problem with Berserk is that inevitably it's just too expensive to make a good looking anime of Berserk because the artwork is just so detailed and so phenomenal. I mean, when you look at 90s Berserk, the background art is great, courtesy of Shichiro Wakabayashi. Is that his name? I always forget his fucking name, even though I cite him all the time. The background art is great, the characters look great, but they don't animate that often, and there's a lot of janky frames and stuff like that. Like, overall, the show looks pretty okay, but, like, just the amount of detail that goes into drawing all the armor, all the huge armies of people, these crazy fantasy creatures and stuff, like, it's just not necessarily that easy to do. And moreover, the most popular arc of Berserk has always been the Golden Age arc, and so adapting just the Golden Age arc to animation was a good move. You're getting the main thrust of the story, the part that most people care about, and everything after that is, some people love it, some people don't, but there's not such an easy way to find a good cutoff point to tell like a satisfying story of just one, further arc or anything like that, and have it be as big, as popular as, the original series. I thought it was a great idea when Studio 4C, I think it was going to do the movies, and they were originally supposed to just do the whole story in those movies. They were like, we're going to adapt all of Berserk, and they basically just ended up doing the Golden Age arc and then stopping, which was pointless because it was just a retread of what we already had. And like, I thought that there were interesting things about that adaptation. Like, I thought the battles were portrayed better. You could like really get a better sense of the tactics and all the moving parts of the battle that you didn't get in the original TV show. But the use of CG and the more brightly lit color palette just didn't reflect the tone of the series that well to me in the way that the original show had done. And also, they, of course, hyper-condensed a lot of the information, so you're not really getting the complete story. And, like, I can't imagine anybody watching those movies and caring about Berserk the way they would if they watched the original show or read the manga. But, like, if we're going to make another anime adaptation of Berserk, then, I mean, what even is the justification, really? Like, the manga is already phenomenal. It's panel for panel, beautifully drawn. It's got... It's like as good as manga can be, basically. Like, it has all the qualities you would want from the, like, using the medium to the fullest and telling this great epic story that can go on forever and always be, like, a product of this one man's design. And, like, adapting that to animation, like, what is the return on investment? Like, why do we care if we get a good Berserk anime? We don't need it to be an anime. It's perfectly fine as a manga. Like, the only justification is that some people prefer anime, I guess, and maybe you can make some money off of it, but it's never going to be as good as the manga because it would just take so much effort and so much cost to make that happen that you would not make that money back, Like, anime can't make enough money to make that money back. So, like, doing the movies, they could make the money back because of the fact that, ticket sales are a lot greater than, TV show sales. And, like, the original show came out during a time when there wasn't a ton of competition for TV anime, and it blew up in the West because it was like, there wasn't that much competition. I would say that in the current climate, it would be impossible to do the series justice in a TV format, but that's the only way that you're going to be able to adapt a majority of the story, and moreover, the manga's still not even fucking over. So, like, With Berserk 2016-2017, I think they just saw it as like, okay, if people just want another anime, here's how we can do it and make our money back. You know, like, yeah, we can do it in like a relatively cheap CG form where it will look kind of like Berserk and we can tell the story, and if you just like the story, it'll be fine. Like, there are some people who actually enjoy Berserk 2016-2017 just because it is the story of Berserk. And like, I've heard even from people who hate the adaptation that there are moments where they kind of get into it just because it's accurate. It's not like they changed what actually happens. So, you know, it's an effective way cost wise to just get the story to animation, but it just raises the question of, is it worth having it in animation? And I think the answer is no. It just, there doesn't need to be. There's no reason for there to be a good Berserk anime. It doesn't need to exist. I don't think it adds anything to Berserk to have it animated in particular. So why bother? I guess is my question.